Well, Sean, after a hugely successful weekend down in Cape Town last weekend, it's back to the Highveld to defend your crown as the GBet Summer Cup winner of last year. You start off in the first with a horse called Seventh Light. Has its third start and found a little bit of market support last time out. Not a bad run at all.
Yes, Andrew, a filly that I think is going to get better and better and maybe needs a bit more ground. However, she'll be racing with the addition of the tongue tie. I'm sure it's going to help her a little bit. Yeah, I think she'll be thereabouts.
Yeah, Andy, she's obviously had a few issues. That's why she's starting her career late in life. But we've persevered because she's shown us some ability. She may just be in need of the run, but being a 4-year-old, she's pretty mature now, and I expect her to be competitive.
Yeah, I guess when you step a filly out like that on a big day like that, you must be expecting hopefully a little bit of a check.
Yeah, normally the fields are very competitive, so the horses have to show you some sort of ability to run them on big days. But she's been doing everything right at home, and we're hoping for a good run.
Yeah, very nice of Sheikh Farhad to support us, and I think it's a big coup having him race with us in this country. Mythical Bolt, the form is good. Obviously, he's a very nice horse. I'm expecting him to win. Whether I'm brave enough to take 1, 2, 3, I'm not too sure. I think he probably would have liked to have put one more gallop into him. I'm not trying to put people off. I say he should win, but I wouldn't take 1, 2, 3. Sea Air, very nice colt, should be finishing strongly.
Okay, I'm a little bit bamboozled by Purple Diamond on the ability that we know he has. Are you expecting a little bit more from him this time?
Listen, he hasn't been an easy horse. He's thrown us a few curveballs. However, I'm starting again, basically. I'm coming back to 1,000, which I feel is going to be a bit sharp for him. However, I think he's going to be finishing strongly, and we'll be able to fine-tune the distance from there on. Obviously, I'm happy with the blinkers, although he has over-raced in his last 2 starts. They were over 14.50. So we're still learning with him, unfortunately, but I'm sure I'll learn a lot from this race.
It's entirely possible that your horses will be going down to the start last. You've got a busy race, 4 runners against the grain, Cordillera, Royal Italian and Chakra.
Yes, Andrew, all very nice horses, first of all. Secondly, at least 1 or 2 of them can use this instead of an assessment plate. Against the grain, I think he's a very good horse. He's a big runner. He came into a nice draw, though he was drawn poorly at Nom stage. Cordillera, I thought, was a decent post-maiden run in a very strong race. She could certainly go closer than her odds suggest. Royal Italian, I think, the nice galloping weight. He's campaigned against strong fields. He's dropped right down in the ratings, and in a handicap he should be competitive. Shukra is a quality horse. I think this just may be a bit sharp for him, but I am using it as part of a prep to bigger things, and hopefully he'll be finishing strongly. But I would say, obviously against the grain seems like the right horse, but Cordillera and Royal Italian not out of it.
Yeah, Blonde Vision, we're throwing in at the deep end. She got a good draw, lightweight, so it's just a test to see how good she is. She's well within herself. Viking Trail's in a similar boat. And for Dose, she's probably the class horse of the race. She's extremely well, and I'm expecting her to run a big race.
Yeah, I think a wide open handicap. I may be getting into feature races with these 2 fillies, maybe a few runs too soon. However, I just felt it was worth me taking a chance to try and get black type with either one of them with the weight that they're carrying. I think they're both quality horses, and they would certainly not be without an outside chance in this race.
Yeah, look, her last start, I think everything went against her. She landed up being in front, and Gavin didn't really want to be there. So she did it the hard way and didn't finish in the way which we had expected. We freshened up, bringing her back to the 1160, but her bloods show that she's well within herself. Her temperatures have been right every morning. So there's no other factors to show us why she's not working as well as she has in the past. It's slightly concerning, but if she has to arrive on race day, I think she could be competitive in a field like this.
Where Kissable hopefully will redeem herself, because it would appear on face value that she's much better than her last start.
Yes, Andrew, look, a disappointing run last time. Nothing really wrong, no real reasons, but there was a bit of rain just before the race and we were delayed. Maybe the going was a bit sticky for her. But this time, if we don't have sticky going and I'm happy that she will see the distance out of the 1160, trying a bit further this time.
Yeah, I must say, I think she's a quality filly, and I think she's on the upgrade, Andy. She's improved all the while. And hopefully, I think her temperament's getting better too. She's much better at the gates. And I think back in filly's class, albeit it's a graded race, I think she's definitely in with a shout. And, chatting to Gav, we looked at the field, and really I think she's got a galloping weight there. Bearing in mind last time she took on the Colts, she carried 60, so she gave weight all round, and she got left a bit, and, it was a nice sort of come on run really, just to keep her sort of cherry ripe for this. So so far so good, the plan's working, and I'd just like to see her put it together.
Once again, an open handicap, as is the tone for the day. Really tough racing, really competitive handicaps, and people need to study their form. I think obviously all of my horses should be thereabouts. I would say Africa Rising and Captain and Master, if this race is not a bit on the sharp side for him. I mean, he's a class horse and he's carrying no weight, and if he gets away with the 6 furlongs, they probably got him to beat. Wonderwall in different run last time, but he needs gelding, so win, lose or draw, this will be the last run. As a colt, I can't give confidence, but on his best form, he certainly has a chance. Yeah, Andrew, very hard to be specific and help the public. It's a wide open handicap. I wouldn't need to run 4 if I knew which was the right one.
We haven't seen him out since July Day, but he's a high-class individual. Probably got his work cut out to beat stable companion Riverine, who was scintillating last time out.
Yeah, look, I think it's always tough coming off a rest, and especially going into a feature after a layoff. We were lucky enough to get it right with Riverine in the Golden Loom a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, maybe we're being a little bit bold trying it again with down to 0, but on the work he's showing at home, I wouldn't be surprised if he's right there.
Riverine, it is the second run after a bit of a break, but sprinters, I don't think it's as significant, that particular syndrome.
Yeah, we're quite happy with the way Riverine came out of the Golden Loom. His work's been really good, and he's improved a lot, and I think we can expect another decent run from him.
I believe Gavin said he...
Lorraine, yeah, Gavin's very happy with how he's working.
You're defending with Liege, very handy galloping weight, Social Order, great prep in the Charity Mile, and Tilbury Fort equally so.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with all 3 of their preparations. It's gone very well. There's a train of thought that says Tilbury Fort second run. We specifically race him this way because he races a little bit fresh. So I heard a few of the panelists last night being concerned about his preparation. I think he's had a sparkling prep. It's just a matter of if he gets the 2000. If he gets the 2000, he's a massive runner. Liege, I think he's in a very good place. His July prep was a little rushed, and we missed out on a crucial prep run, and we were behind the 8 ball from then on. However, his 2 comeback runs have been very good. He's been out of his ground basically, but finished both off very strongly. It seems as though there's no pace. That's a big concern. Social Order, no draw, perfect preparation. He's going to have to get dropped out. So, Andrew, my horses are in good order. I think besides Tilbury, the other 2 are quite generously priced up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the quartet. But how the race is going to pan out, that's another story. On face value, there's no pace. But once we start approaching the big money races, maybe somebody's brave enough to take it by the scruff of the neck, and let's see from there.
He's 1.5 kilos better off at the weights with taking the piece on their Victory Moon performance. We know horses don't run on paper, but what you see is what you get with one of the most consistent horses in racing.
Yeah, I think this year's Summer Cup's quite controversial. Some people may say it's not the strongest field that they've seen. Some people may say it's one of the more competitive fields they've seen. Be it as it may, these are the runners in the Summer Cup, and I think that Arctica for me is not really a horse that I really follow form lines with him or weight turnarounds or anything, because we've done that in the past and he looks to be a certainty and he just runs a consistent type of race. So on what we're seeing at home and the horse within himself, he's really good. and I think he can expect another competitive effort. And if he arrives on the day and one or two things go his way, he could be the type of horse that would upset the apple cart, which would be lovely for us. But I think he'll be competitive.
Yeah, we're lucky to have a strong hand. Cascapita's had a good prep over distances too short for her. She got a nice jaw, good jockey on top, so everything's gone well for her. She just needs a bit of luck in running. Taking a piece in the same boats, had an awesome prep. She got a big swing in the weights with horses that she ran within the Victory Moon, so she's going to have to step up again, but she's full of heart and she'll definitely try her best. And then Noble Secrets, he's had a good prep. His last run was probably just a bit flat, but glad to get that out of the way. Since then, his work's been very good. Really happy with him, and I'm expecting a much better run. And then Kill Rain, he's he's very out of the weights, so he's going to have a lot to do. But he's well, and if they go a good enough pace and he sits off them, he can run on into the minor money. And then Like a Panther, he's got a lot of ability. He is very fit for the race. He needs a lot of luck in running from draw 14, but he's also can't leave out.
He kind of got excuses for the last run. He gave a couple of coughs, not after the race, but for a few days after that. So clearly was something amiss there in the Victory Moon. Plus he was a little bit jarred up from the race. I don't think he had the easiest passage, but very happy with him now. His blood count is excellent, probably the best it's been since he won the President's Challenge. I mean, it's really strong. And he's looking great. He looks like the old Dio Giventi that I know. The Elusive Fort fillies, I think they're at their best probably at 4. She had a good 3-year-old career, and I think she's improved out of that. I believe her run in the Pinnacle the other night, really, I think it just shows her well-being, and it shows her quality. It was a good strong. It was almost a dress rehearsal for a feature race at Pinnacle. Some of the best fillies around. And for her to come and win it, I must say I was not surprised to see her run well, but I was surprised to see her win. I didn't think she'd be able to win a mile.
A filly that gave Lyle Hewitson his second Grade 1 victory at Greyville was Redbury Lane. She's in the Peter Graaf colours, and you must be expecting a good run from her in the Epitombi.
Yes, I'm very happy with her, Andrew. Unfortunately, we come off an ordinary second run. It's very hard to find the reason for that run, and that is a concern. If I look at it face value, obviously second run could have come into play. She wasn't really prepped to win it first time. She ran maybe a little bit above herself, even though it was a very average field. She was probably only 70%, if that. So that may come into play. There was rain on the night, and we did sit back on her a little bit. Although she won it at Greyville that way, I think the pace was a bit stronger that night at Greyville. So yes, I have to just ignore her last run because it is a curveball, and if I do that, she's got a big chance.
Yeah, Silver Thursday is still very overweight. She's still got to lose about 10 kilos, 10-15 kilos, so she'll need the run again. Nafaye's trying the mile for the first time. She looks like a classy filly. She gets a lot of weight from the older horses, and if she stays, she's got to be a serious runner. And Dagmar, she's been the mile. It is stretching her a little bit, so she's got to be ridden very patiently, but also getting a lot of weight from the older fillies, and she'll be right there.
One of the nicest owners you'll ever get in Dave Shaw has a high-class filly who has boundless courage, and she's very talented too.
Yeah, she is. Type of filly we kind of elected to keep her going as a 5-year-old, and because she's running well and she's earning well. I must say I was impressed with her last run. I thought it was excellent. Has she come on? I think she has. So we're going to race her sparingly, but try and just keep her in graded races and try and enhance the black type. Tricky draw, outside of a good bunch of fillies, but Gav knows her well. If she comes out well and can get placed, then I think she'll run another game race, and I must say her work has been very, very strong.
The curveball could be the horse that's having his second start. That's Zilzal. He looks like he might be just a bit above average.
Yeah, let's say that this is quite a competitive maiden race. It's not just cut and dried a couple of horses. It's tricky. First of all, Cinnabon being gelded before his last start was a very good comeback run. So I see his chances have been discounted, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the finish. Zalzal, a very nice horse if this race is not coming not only too soon to his last run, but also in his career. He's got a lot to learn. He is a quality horse, there's no doubt about it. So if he can put it together, he could certainly win a race like this. I'm not convinced that he might not just need the experience, but as I say, if not too green, he should be a big runner.
Bit of an enigma, not the easiest horse to fathom.
Yeah, we were pretty disappointed that he hasn't won by now. He has had a few mental issues, you can put it like that. But he's fit, he's very well, and trying a new jockey in Pierce Stradum, so hopefully he can get the best out of him.
Okay, then you've got Hands of Man and Winter Crusade, both in the 9th race. Not a particularly strong field. They must have some sort of chance.
Yeah, outside chances. Andrew, Hands of Man, still a bit dumb and inexperienced, but he could run the bottom end of the quartets. And Winter Crusade, he's a horse that's drawn badly, but shows a lot at home. So if he brings his work to the racetrack, he should run well.
Okay, and then to one of the most passionate racing owners we've seen for many a year, Mr. Bernard Cantor. He's got a horse who was maybe a little disappointing last time out, but maybe not. Maybe you can tell us more after his good win prior to that.
It was certainly a flat run. Once again, you can have no confidence going into a race like this off the back of a very moderate run. However, it's such an open race that you sort of feel we're going to take our chances anyway. We are out at the weights, as are quite a few horses. Yeah, I think we just want to ride him quietly and see him finish off strongly. Let's at least learn that he can get this type of trip, even if he is a bit outclassed. But you never know unless you try. He's a horse that's always come from off them, but when he won the last time he won, we got a bit of confidence that he could go up there and maybe to repeat the same tactics. It didn't exactly pay dividends. So let's go back to basics, drop him out and see what he can give us at the end.
Yeah, look, he's a lovely little guy. He's as honest as the day is long. He loves the softer weather. So I mean, if we do get some rain over the next couple of days, I think it's definitely going to help him. It took quite a whack in the merit ratings, but I guess it was exactly, it was deserved. And I don't know that it's going to be too much weight for him. It seems like a weaker race than he ran in last time, quality-wise. But the 3-2 is obviously a question mark. I think he'll get it. He has gone a short head second in a 3,000 on the inside track in the International Jockeys meeting. So I'm not lacking in confidence, not quite sure if he could follow up, but I do think he'll run another big race.
And then finally, to put the lid on the day, in the 11th of the afternoon, you've got Throng.
Yeah, Throng is also he's a talented individual, and he needed his last comeback run. I was very happy with the run. Obviously, you could see that he campaigned in very good company before then. This is his second run. He may just need this run to bring him to his peak, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him flashing up late.
Well connected, goes to the mile, and probably a couple of excuses in his last start.
Yeah, he was badly hampered. It was the first time we were trying a trip, over 8 furlongs or more, first time after a rest, and he was running on really well. So it was disappointing to see him get hampered because he looked like he was running a big race. Saturday, Turfentine Standside track, mile, I think he'll be well suited, and I think, at the price he is at the moment, I think he's good value.
Ulfberg, after a good second in his last start, bites off probably a little bit more this time.
Yeah, look, he's a horse that shows a bit of promise at home. He is a horse that's going to win a couple of races. We've put the apprentice on to claim the 4 kilos to give him an extra chance against a very competitive field.
Then the Dazzler, his penultimate start was eye-popping the way he ran on. He disappointed nobody in the way he won his last start, and I get the feeling that he might continue on his winning ways.
Yeah, on pedigree you should see out the 10 furlongs. Obviously, he comes back from a wind up. His wind has been fantastic, but you always got to have that little bit of doubt if you'll see it out. If he does see it out, he is definitely a serious runner.
A hard-knocking contender at the highest level. So too is Kalua Castle, who continues to flourish even at a ripish age.
Look, he's 9 years old, doesn't want to retire. I mean, he's working like a little steam train here. I mean, he's just left the track now and he was bucking. He's so well. Yeah, we were looking at his form actually a short while ago. I mean, he's got the most amazing form. If you look at the horses that he's run places to and beaten, I mean, he's been run up close to horses like Yorker earlier on. For sure, Louis the King, yeah, exactly, second in the Summer Cup. Look, he's obviously lost some of that ability, but he hasn't lost the will to run, and he's running right there in difficult races. And I think on Saturday, I think he'll be competitive again. Not expecting to win, but kind of am expecting to run a place.